guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a kind of extra video this week. Hopefully I'll get both of these out this week. So yeah, if you watched my previous video, you will know I'm doing, trying to do reading wrap-ups for the month now, as opposed to just recent reads. So I'm going to be sharing the last few books I read in December that I did not have time to film in my previous recent reads or in my January wrap-up. So I'm going to be sharing those books for you today, with you today. As always, the reviews of each and every one of these books will be in the description down below if you want more details or content information. And yeah, hopefully the reading wrap-ups, monthly reading wrap-ups will work out for me. So yeah, we won't have any weird short videos like this anymore. Anyways, the first book I'm going to talk about today, because it's not the first book I finished in December, but whatever, that is The Highlander's Victory by Michaela Bush. This is the third book in the Legends of Lanneria series. This one is, we follow Isla. Isla was briefly in the second book of, which was The Healer of the Brigade. So we did meet her there. We follow her in this book. She is like a warrior maiden, and when she goes back to her, kingdom to like tell her father about the war that's going on and stuff, he basically exiles her for getting involved. Cool. He's got cool dad points. Yeah. So yeah, she's mad, obviously. So she and her older brother Hamish and a bunch of other people decide to band together and form kind of their own army to push back the invaders. Unfortunately, Isa has a large amount of pride, and that tends to get in the way. So yeah, also at the same time, she's trying to find this other piece of the prophecy that Aruli was looking for in the second book. And yeah, and it's basically she has to fight the invaders who are coming in, but she also has to get that piece of prophecy back to everybody at Lanneria so they can figure out what to do. This is definitely a bridge book from the first two books to the rest of the series. It is a much smaller book, which is fine because Isla was a really hard character to follow at times because she's very prideful. She's very fiery. Think of, like, say, Merida from the Pixar movie Brave. She's very similar to Merida, a little more hard-headed, though not by much. Yeah, this definitely has a Scottish vibe to it, the whole book. So yeah, I was definitely getting Scottish, brave vibes from the way they talked, the landscaping, and everything else. I wouldn't say I hated Isla, but I did, I liked her, but it was very hard to connect with her because she is so prideful and so pig-headed. So yeah, sometimes it was really hard to like her. I did like her relationship with her older brother. And yeah, I did overall enjoy this book. This is definitely a bridge book that's just kind of connecting what did happen in the first two books to what's going to continue to happen, I believe, at least with finding this prophecy and defeating the ultimate bad guys. So yeah, I enjoyed this one and I gave it 4 stars. The next book I read was the final book in the Supervillain Rescue Project series, and that is Power Up. This is the, like I said, the final book of that series, which is H.L. Burke's young adult superhero series. So yeah, yay, I finally finished one of these series. I've like started all of them and haven't finished one of them yet, but yeah, I finally finished this one. In this one we follow Jake. Again, he is the major character, and he is thinking about what he's going to be doing after he graduates from their Camp Sable and stuff like that. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do, and when his adoptive father, Fade, basically gets kidnapped, and he disappears. They don't know where he went. They don't know why these people want him, but they were trying to get to Jake, and they got Fade instead, and now Jake feels responsible. And he gets offered help from the most unlikely of places, which is his uncle. The uncle who tried to, like, kill him in the first book. So, you know, fun relationship dynamics there. So, yeah, now he has to decide what he will do for his father, and how far he's willing to go to help him. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars. Jake has been a favorite character of mine from the very beginning. I just love his journey, how he has grown up so much, and how even though he tries to do the right thing, sometimes, you know, he just doesn't. He tries to do the right thing, but sometimes he trusts the wrong people, or it just doesn't happen because he's only 17 and he didn't see everything coming. And he just gets himself into a deeper and deeper hole, and then yeah, things just happen, and I really enjoyed this, really enjoyed following the other characters as they try to find Feyd, and also try to find Jake then, ultimately. The father-son relationship between Feyd and Jake is amazing. I really like how that developed over the whole course of the series, and it just really stood out here. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book, gave it 5 stars, and I would highly recommend the series. If you like say Marvel type movies, but you want it in a book form, I would definitely recommend this series. Okay, the next book is also by H.L. Burke that I read, and that is Captured by a Supervillain. This is the 3rd book of the Supervillain Romance Project series. In this one, we follow Juliet. She is basically on a mission, she's on patrol one time, and then she runs across this villain gang. But instead of defeating the villains like she thinks she will, she gets captured by them. So yeah, that didn't really work. Though the way that the author does her she got kidnapped thing is kind of like, well, that was totally your fault, Juliet. So it works since this is kind of a kidnappy romance, which sounds really messed up. But yeah, it does work in that way because technically he wasn't trying to kidnap her. She just ended up hitched along for the ride, and he was just like, great, now what am I supposed to do with you? So anyways, she gets kidnapped, but the only one standing between her and the rest of the supervillain gang she's gotten kidnapped into is one of the supervillains named Sandstorm. And yeah, and she doesn't quite know why he's standing in for her, but yeah, definitely he is doing so, and she doesn't know why. She keeps trying to escape, obviously. Then she finds out that the supervillain gang plans to like threaten to blow up the city unless they get like a certain amount of money or something like that, and then they might even just blow up the city anyways. So what is she gonna do, and will Sandstorm help her, or will he hinder her? So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This book has a connection to the young adult series, so a character there does show up here and is kind of a titular character. So I would recommend reading the young adult series first before you read this one, but even if you don't, it is definitely still an enjoyable read. I really like this one. This is gonna sound messed up, but I've always liked the idea of the kidnappy romance. Okay, I know that sounds messed up, but I kind of blame fan fiction on this one. But I don't know, I just liked the idea of it, not in real life. Let's be clear on that. But just like the idea of it, of like seeing enough of like the kidnapper is more of a good person than he or she really thinks they are, and that's how the other person falls in love with them, that sort of thing. But yeah, I really liked how the author did it. She did this amazingly well, because this could easily have been a very toxic, very strange relationship. But yeah, this didn't end up being that way at all. She handled it very well. The characters are dynamic as ever. Juliet is a little firecracker, and she gets herself into 99% of her own problems, but she is also a really nice person. So it's like, you can't stay too mad at her for being that way. It's just kind of like, well, okay, you did it again. But I mean, you're nice, so I like following you around. And Sandstorm is the perfect tragic hero. I really love him. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I had such a fun ride with it. I haven't read the 4th one yet, which does continue their story, but yeah, I haven't read that one yet, but I still really enjoyed this one, and I gave it 5 stars. Okay. Then the next book I read was Weird Writing Prompts by Janine Appolito, I believe is how you say the author's last name. And this is exactly what it says it is. It's just different writing prompts with like ideas of how to answer them, of like, this is like different ways to get deeper into your characters, into your setting, into your story overall, just like, or just fun ways to share about your characters and your story with like people on social media and stuff, your followers on social media and stuff like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. It is much smaller than I thought it would be. It is a very tiny book. I thought it would actually be a lot bigger and have a lot more questions than it does, but for what it does have, it's really good. I do want to try, I mean, some of these questions are weird. Like, the weirdest question here is, your characters are trapped in a broken down elevator with an emu. How do they escape? What happens to the emu? Like, why are you in an elevator with an emu? And it just brings up all kinds of things, and then it's designed to help you get deeper into your characters, deeper into your setting and your story, and just, yeah. I haven't yet tried to use this, but I do want to try someday. I especially want to try the emu one, because I already know what a couple of my characters would do if they saw an emu. I mean, yeah, one of them would just be like, what is that thing? But yeah, anyways, I still really enjoyed this though. It was very fast read, obviously. There's not much text, but yeah, and I gave it 5 stars. Okay, and the last book I have to talk about is Meet Kaya, which is the first book of the Kaya series. In American Girl, we follow a Nez Perce girl back in, they have the date as 1764. So yeah, and it's just her life and her mistakes and stuff, and just how she lives past them. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I was rereading this as part of like my going through my childhood book. I really enjoyed this. Kaya definitely learns quite a bit in this book, and I really like the historical details at the back that they give, the illustrations. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Yeah, there's not really much to say about it. I gave it 3 stars. Okay, and that is it. Those are the last few books I read in December. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully my monthly wrap-ups will continue to go well. If not, I'll probably just switch back to the recent reads. But for now, we're just going to do monthly wrap-ups. I hope you guys enjoyed this bonus video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!